Hey ladies, it's so good to have you here. Whether you're listening to this while getting ready, on a walk, or winding down your day, I want you to know you're in exactly the right place. Because today we're diving into something fun, something a little cheeky, and something every woman has wondered at some point. Is he into me, or is he just being friendly? We've all been there. You're talking to a guy, maybe at work, at a party, or even over coffee, and there's a certain end. He smiles a little more. He laughs at your jokes just a bit too easily. And you find yourself thinking, is this flirtation or just polite conversation? The truth is, men aren't always verbal about their interests, but their bodies are speaking volumes. And if you know what to look for, you'll start noticing things that completely change how you read a situation. So today, I'm going to give you 7 body language signs that he's not just being nice, he's flirting with you. These are subtle, often subconscious behaviors that guys do when they're attracted to a woman. And once you recognize them, you'll be able to read between the lines with total confidence. Ready to decode him? Let's dive in. One of the most telling signs that a man is flirting with you isn't found in what he says, it's in what his body is doing when he thinks no one is watching. And one of the biggest giveaways is this. He positions his body towards you even when he doesn't have to. This is especially noticeable in group settings. You might be out with friends or at a social event and everyone's gathered around having a conversation. But if you take a moment to observe how he's standing or sitting, you'll notice something subtle. His chest, his torso, even his feet are angled toward you, not the center of the group, not the person speaking, but you. Now here's why this matters. Human beings naturally orient themselves toward what they're most interested in. This goes all the way back to basic biology and survival. Our bodies literally face what we want or what we're paying attention to. So when a man angles himself towards you, he's unconsciously saying, you have my focus. And even more than that, you're the person I'm tuned into right now. That's not just friendly, that's intimate, that's flirtatious. Now, this body language can show up in all kinds of ways. Maybe he leans slightly in your direction when someone else is talking. Maybe his knees are turned toward you under the table, even if he's having a side conversation with someone else. Or maybe the entire group shifts positions and somehow he ends up closer to you, not by accident, but because he wanted to be. And here's the key. People don't make these adjustments consciously. He's not thinking, let me make sure my hips are aligned with hers. It's instinctive. When a man is attracted to you, his body starts revealing it before his words ever do. You can also spot this during moments of shared laughter. Let's say someone in the group makes a funny comment and everyone laughs. Who does he look at first? If his head turns towards you, or his body shifts as if to include you in the reaction, it's because he's experiencing the moment with you, not just around you. That subtle physical orientation shows he sees you as the one he's trying to connect with. Now, contrast this with a guy who's polite but not really interested. He might still talk to you, even smile and make eye contact, but his body will remain neutral or even slightly turned away. That's a sign he's present but not invested. But when he's flirting, when he's genuinely drawn to you, his body leans in, opens up, and stays aimed in your direction, almost like a compass that can't help but point north. So next time you're unsure whether a guy is just being social or sending a signal, don't just listen to his words. Watch where his body's pointed, because his body might be telling the story his mouth hasn't said out loud yet. And trust me, it rarely lies. One of the most fascinating signs that a man is flirting with you is also one of the most unconscious. He mirrors your movements. Now you might be thinking, wait, what does that even mean? Let me explain. When someone mirrors you, they're subtly copying your posture, your gestures, your expressions, and they're doing it without realizing it. It's almost like their body is trying to harmonize with yours. And in the context of attraction, this is a huge giveaway. Let's say you're at a coffee shop and you take a sip of your drink. A few seconds later, he does the same. You shift your weight onto one leg, and shortly after, so does he. You laugh and brush your hair behind your ear. Suddenly you notice he's rubbing the back of his neck or adjusting his shirt. That right there is mirroring in action. It's subtle, it's instinctive, and it's deeply connected to how we bond with others. Psychologists have studied this for years. It's called the chameleon effect, When we feel connected to someone or want to feel more connected, we start mimicking their behavior as a way to build trust and rapport. It's something humans have been doing since birth. And in romantic settings, it often shows up as a subconscious way of saying, I like you. I want to be in sync with you. Now, here's what makes this even more interesting. Mirroring doesn't just show that he's attracted to you, it also builds chemistry. You might notice that when a guy is mirroring you, the conversation flows more smoothly. You feel more in rhythm with him. It's not just that he's copying you, it's that your energies are syncing up, almost like you're dancing, even if you're standing still. Some guys are naturally smooth and they might mirror without giving off an obvious signal, but when a man is flirting, when he's drawn to you in that more than friends kind of way, this body language becomes almost auto. His mind is focused on you, so his body starts following suit. Here's a little tip. You can test this one out. Try shifting slightly, crossing your arms loosely, or placing your hand on your chin. Then wait. If he follows suit within a few seconds, it's likely he's attuned to you. And if he continues to reflect your movements throughout the conversation, you can bet there's a spark. Now, of course, not every instance of mirroring means a man is in love with you. Context matters, but when it's paired with other signs of flirtation like eye contact, smiling, or leaning in, it becomes a strong indicator that he's not just being nice. He's trying to connect on a deeper level. So the next time you're talking to a guy and wondering if he's flirting, take a step back, or better yet, a step forward, and see if he mirrors you. His body may be giving away what his words haven't yet caught up to. When a man is flirting with you, one of the clearest yet often overlooked signs is in how he touches you. And no, I'm not talking about anything overtly sexual or inappropriate. I'm talking about the small, subtle, almost blink and you miss it kind of touches, the ones that seem casual on the surface but are loaded with intention. Think about it. Touch is one of the most primal ways we connect as human beings. We shake hands when we meet, we hug when we say goodbye, and we instinctively reach out to the people we care about. So when a guy finds little ways to physically connect with you, gently, respectfully, and more than once, that's his body language saying, I want to be close to you. You might notice this in the way he taps your arm lightly when he's making a point during conversation, or how he briefly touches your back to guide you through a doorway. Maybe you're laughing and he gives you a playful nudge, or you're walking side by side and your hands brush for just a second too long to be accidental. What matters here isn't just the fact that he touches you, it's how he does it. A man who's flirting will touch you in ways that feel deliberate, but also soft and non-threatening. These gestures are often very brief, a few seconds at most, but they carry emotional weight. Why? Because they're little tests. He's gauging your reaction. Does she pull away? Does she smile? Does she lean in? He's trying to see if the feeling is mutual. Now, here's where it gets interesting. A lot of men don't even realize they're doing this. Attraction triggers something in their nervous system that makes them want to close the physical gap. They want to feel that energy in real time. And because touch is such a vulnerable form of communication, a guy who's flirting will often do this in a way that still gives you the choice to accept it, return it, or step away. And let's not forget, context is everything. A touch that feels flirtatious in a bar might feel out of place in a professional setting. But even then, the signs are there. If a guy is finding any excuse to make small physical contact with you, handing you something with a lingering brush of his fingers, bumping into you more often than coincidence will allow, he's not doing that with everyone. He's doing it with you because he's drawn to you. So pay attention to those light touches. Don't dismiss them as just friendly gestures. When a man is flirting, his body can't help but find ways to bridge the space between you. And when it's subtle, gentle, and repeated over time, that's his desire trying to show up without saying a word. If you really want to know whether a guy is flirting with you, look into his eyes. Or better yet, catch him looking when he thinks you won't notice. Eye contact is one of the most intimate forms of nonverbal communication. And when a man is interested, he uses it in a very specific way. He doesn't just glance at you once and look away. He lingers. His gaze holds yours for a second too long, long enough for you to feel it in your stomach, long enough to spark a thought in your mind. Was that just a look, or was that something more? Here's why this matters. Men are visual creatures. But when a man is flirting, he doesn't just look at you. He becomes captivated by you. His eye contact becomes less about politeness and more about connection. You'll notice that he maintains it even during silences. He listens with his eyes. He watches your expressions. And sometimes, when you're talking, you'll see this little softness come over him, like he's completely tuned in, even if you're just talking about your weekend plans. That's not casual. That's chemistry trying to surface. But here's where it gets even more interesting. A man who's flirting but trying to stay cool will often sneak glances when he thinks you're not paying attention. Maybe you're looking down at your phone, laughing with a friend, or turning to speak to someone else in the room. And his eyes shift to you. He studies your face, your smile, the way you move. And then when you turn back, he looks away just a fraction of a second too late. It's a man communicating with his eyes what his words haven't yet dared to say. So the next time you catch him holding your gaze just a beat too long, or sneaking that glance when you're turned away, don't ignore it. That isn't nothing. That's one of the clearest signs that he's not just being friendly, he's flirting. Quietly, slowly, but unmistakably. One of the most telling signs that a man is flirting with you is this: he keeps showing up in your space. Not in an obvious, clingy way, but in that subtle, magnetic way where you realize, why is he always nearby? You might be in a room full of people, a casual get-together, or even at work, and somehow he finds a way to be within arm's reach of you, again and again. This isn't about coincidence, it's about proximity. When a man is drawn to you, his body naturally wants to be in your orbit. He may not even consciously realize it, but he gravitates toward you. If you move to another part of the room, he shows up there minutes later. If you're chatting with someone else, he positions himself close enough to join the conversation or at least listen in. These are not random movements. This is a man who's creating opportunities to connect with you physically, emotionally, and energetically. Now, here's the key difference between a friendly guy and a flirting guy. A friendly guy will engage when he has a reason to, a shared task, a mutual friend, a direct question. A flirting guy, he makes up reasons. Maybe he asks you a question he probably already knows the answer to. Maybe he starts helping someone near you just so he can stand close. Or maybe he walks over just to say hi, even though you already saw each other an hour ago. These small actions may seem casual, but they're motivated by one thing. He wants to be close to you. There's a warmth to this kind of behavior. It's not about dominating your space. It's about being part of it. You might feel his presence just behind your shoulder during a conversation, or he might choose the seat next to you when there are plenty of other options. And if he leans in when you're speaking, nods with genuine engagement, and smiles with that relaxed, open expression, that's his body communicating interest, desire, and attention. The best part, he usually doesn't even realize how obvious. It looks from the outside. Attraction is magnetic, and people who are drawn to each other find ways to close the gap between them over and over again. So when you notice that he seems to orbit around you a little more than anyone else, when his path somehow always crosses yours, that's not fate, that's flirting. Pay attention to how often he chooses to be near you when he doesn't really have to be, because in a world full of choices and distractions, people show you what they care about through what they prioritize. And when he consistently chooses to be around you, that's his body saying what his heart might still be working up the courage to say out loud. One of the lesser talked about, but incredibly revealing signs that a man is flirting with you is how he suddenly becomes a little more aware of how he looks when you're around. It's not about vanity, it's about impression. When a guy is attracted to you, there's this subtle shift that happens. He starts adjusting himself, quite literally, to put his best foot forward in your presence. You might notice him fixing his shirt, smoothing his hair, adjusting his sleeves, or checking his reflection in a nearby window or phone screen. These aren't just idle habits, these are subconscious cues of someone who wants to be seen in the best possible light. His internal thought process might sound something like, she's here, I should look decent, even if he's not fully aware of it. Sometimes it's as small as him straightening his posture when you enter the room, suddenly standing a bit taller. broadening his shoulders, or uncrossing his arms. That subtle boost in body language, that's the effect you're having on him. It's a physiological reaction to attraction. He wants to appear more confident, more masculine, more appealing. That's not coincidence. That's instinct. It can also show up in more conscious ways. Maybe he starts wearing cologne on days he knows he'll see you. Or he dresses a little nicer, paying more attention to his grooming than usual. If you complimented something he wore once, like a jacket or a particular color, you may notice he starts wearing it more often. That's no accident. That's a man taking mental notes because your opinion matters to him. What's beautiful about this sign is that it reveals a kind of vulnerability. He's showing, without saying a word, that he cares what you think. And that's powerful. Because real flirting isn't just about flashy gestures. It's about the effort someone makes to be noticed, respected, and desired by you. So the next time you catch him running his fingers through his hair when you walk by, or adjusting his shirt collar mid-conversation, don't brush it off. Those little grooming gestures are his way of silently saying, I'm trying to impress you. And whether he knows it or not, he already is. When it comes to reading body language, most people focus on the obvious things. Facial expressions, smiles, or eye contact. But if you really want to know whether a man is flirting with you, pay attention to something a little less obvious. His feet. That's right. Where a man's feet are pointing, and more broadly, where his whole body is oriented, can reveal exactly who he's focused on, often without him realizing it. Human beings instinctively point their bodies toward what they want. It's a subconscious alignment. So when a man is flirting, you'll often notice that his feet, his torso, even his hips tend to be aimed directly at you, even if he's talking to someone else. That's his body giving you his undivided, unspoken attention. You're the center of his radar, whether or not his words are saying it out loud. Now think about the opposite. When someone's uninterested or disengaged, their feet often point toward the exit. Their body angles away from you, subtly signaling a desire to disconnect. But when a guy is into you, he leans in. His shoulders square off toward you. He angles his knees your way if you're sitting down, and his feet planted firmly in your direction like you're the only destination in the room. This sign becomes even more powerful when you're in a group setting. Is he talking to a group but angling his body toward you? Is he shifting closer, even in tiny increments, to stay within your space? Is he closing the physical gap while still respecting your boundaries? These small directional cues add up, and together they paint a very clear picture of interest. What makes this so charming is how unconscious it usually is. A man may not even realize he's angling toward you. It just feels right to be close, to be facing you, to be present with you. It's like his body is already in the relationship, testing the waters, even before his mouth says a word. So next time you're with a guy and wondering if there's something more going on, take a quick look at where his feet are pointing. His body might already be telling you he's into you and he's not going anywhere. So there you have it, 7 powerful body language signs that a man is flirting with you. It's all in the subtle shifts, the unconscious gestures, and the way he positions himself when you're around. When a guy is truly attracted to you, his body will do a lot of the talking, even when his words haven't caught up yet. So keep your eyes peeled for these signs, because more often than not, they're the most honest signals of interest you'll get. Remember, flirting isn't always about grand gestures or big declarations. Sometimes it's the little things, the way he mirrors your movements, the casual touches, the lingering eye contact that can tell you everything you need to know. His body speaks louder than words, and if you learn to read these signals, you'll know exactly where you stand and whether the attraction is real. Now, I want you to take this knowledge and start paying attention. The next time you're out with a guy, observe his body language. Does he adjust his appearance when you're around? Does he angle his body towards you, even in a crowded room? How does he use eye contact and physical touch? All of these clues are like pieces of a puzzle that will help you see the bigger picture of his interest. If you've learned something new today and you want more tips like these, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video with anyone who could use a little extra insight into understanding body language. And remember, the best way to build attraction is to be yourself. Stay confident and let your own body language speak just as loudly as his. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay magnetic.